Hi there, Rob Hanna here. I'm going to give a quick overview of the Quantifiable Edges subscriber letter for those of you that may not be familiar with it. Let you know what you can expect in the letter and where to find everything quickly. The front page of the letter looks very similar each night. First we have the 1-day and 3-day risk-reward outlooks. They're both neutral as of this letter, but they'll move up and down along with my market analysis. Below that we have our signals overview, and I show 3 different signals here each night. One is the aggregator signal, which is talked about more down below. And then we also have our aggressive VIX system, which looks at VIX futures contango, as well as the aggregator, which determines whether it's going to be long or short and how aggressively. And then also the QE buying power swing system. Now the aggressive VIX and the buying power swing system you can learn more about over on the Quantifiable Edges website, and that would be under the Systems drop-down. Here we see VIX-based research and systems page, or the buying power index information page. Okay, so that's where you would find information on those particular signals. Below that, I always put the points of research, so depending on how many studies, there will be different points here. We only had a couple studies in this particular letter, so there's just a couple of bullet points to note, but all the studies are summarized here. I also give my short-term outlook here in a couple of sentences. So the purpose of the front page basically is, if you don't have time to read the rest of the letter, all you really need to do is look at this, and you've got a nice quick overview of what's going to be found inside, and you'll know whether I'm overall bullish or bearish, and the reasons why. If you get on to the next page, we then have our summary of recent active studies, and this includes both our short-term studies and our intermediate or long-term studies. I also show any that got dropped that particular night. Under that, the first paragraph under evidence normally is just a summary of what happened in the market that day. From there I go in and examine different aspects of market action, and I typically do this with studies. Many of them can be found in the Quantifinder, and some of them get made up as we go along, and then added to the Quantifinder if I find value in them. So this particular study just looked at performance during Martin Luther King week and found that it was a bit bearish. Okay. I may have one study. There's some nights I don't have any. Some nights I have 5, 6, or 7 studies, depending on how extreme the market action is and how many things are triggering. To understand the message of the studies, sometimes we'll have mixed results among them. Some may suggest bullish inclinations, and others might suggest bearish inclinations. Perhaps price action or some aspects of price action is suggesting the market is likely to bounce over the next couple days, and maybe breadth or seasonality or something else is saying, oh, well, actually it's more likely to decline. What I do is I use the aggregator chart to determine that. I'll have another video on the aggregator available, but in general, it just simply looks at all of the active studies and does some simple mathematical calculations and sets expectations going forward. And based on those expectations and based on the performance over the last few days, the aggregator chart will give a long, short, or flat signal. I always discuss what the current configuration is and what that means in the paragraph below the chart, and then I talk about what's setting up for the next day. If no more studies are added, will the configuration be bullish or bearish the next day? Where would we need to close to move from overbought to oversold, or oversold to overbought, or whatever that is? So that comes in the second paragraph there. And then below that is my summary and what I intend to do. So sometimes this will say, I really like this market, I'm going to go long, and this is what I'm going long in. Other times it'll say, time to wait and see. But that's where I give most of my short-term opinion, is right in here. And then again, as I noted earlier, that's kind of summarized in a couple sentences up here. Okay. That concludes the short-term outlook most nights. Beneath that is the intermediate term outlook, and this gets updated typically on the weekends. So I don't update it every day, but I do update it for the weekend letter. And what you'll find here is some additional studies. One chart that I always feature is the POMO and AMBS. It's the flows. It deals with how much liquidity the Fed is providing to the market, and we found there to be a very high correlation between Fed liquidity pumping and whether the market's going up or down. And then I may have some more studies below that sometimes, and we finish up with my overall intermediate term outlook. Okay. The next section is the Catapult and Capitulative Breadth Statistics. It's where the CBI is shown and where all of the open Catapult triggers are listed. And sometimes I'll do Catapult for ETF trades as well, and I'll list them in this section also. Okay, so all the Catapult stuff is listed here. There's a link to the Catapult and CBI presentation there. If you want to learn more, I would suggest checking out that presentation. You can also, on the website, under Systems, you will find the Catapult system. And there's a link to the video there. There's a CBI chart. And there's more resources for subscribers that can be found on that page as well. You can also, access that video just under the videos drop down there. So Catapult and CBI can be found. The presentation can also be found there if you're a trial subscriber and can't access the Catapult system from the Systems drop down. Lastly, we come to the new trade ideas section. So I will frequently list trade ideas here, and I'll put in limit prices, or I'll say that I'm going to buy market on open or market on close, and then if they do get filled, I will track them, and they're tracked in this little table down here called current open trade ideas. Now this one just got closed out, so I'll take it off of here starting tomorrow. But I always put the closeout price there as well, so you can see how any trade ideas have done. There is a trade ideas spreadsheet that you can find. If we go back to the website, and that is on the main systems page. Just scroll down, you see trade ideas spreadsheet, and you can download it right there. And that's it. That's a quick overview of the subscriber letter and how to get through it fairly quickly. I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Take care.